With the in-game modding tools Hytale's looking to have, the possibilities for mods are endless. And there are so many mods that I'd like to see in the game, but there's just one problem. I'm horrible at mod making. So I'm making this video so that you, yes you, watching this video, can hopefully make these mods, and please let me play them. My first mod idea is completely in-game D&D. In this mod, you'd have the full D&D race and class system where you can create your characters and play them in an actual D&D session in-game. This would include adding D&D mobs to Hytale, in-game dice rolls, full character sheets, triggerable D&D style combat, going from free roam style to turn-based D&D combat. Also, this mod would contain DM tools in order to run sessions, so a DM could play as NPCs, orchestrate and build environments like set pieces and prefabs, and even script certain events, like maybe the party gets ambushed. The DM can control the atmosphere, spawn mobs, all sorts of tools so that the DM can run the session for the other players. This mod would also include a replay mode where the whole session can be replayed in a cinematic mode. That way, people could make curated videos to show off how their sessions went. A single player version would be available for this mod, where you could basically just play normal Hytale, but with the added D&D mobs and the full character, race, and class creator system. But this mod would be best played in a group, like a traditional D&D session would be played. This would be a great mod for content creators to collab in, for those content creators to have builders showcase their builds by building set pieces, for DMs to show off their DMing skills in a live stream or in a group session. I really think this game would cater very well to the D&D community, and it would be a great mod to finally have an actual functional, playable D&D game with your friends, but a more open style than Baldur's Gate 3 has. Real quick, if you're liking this style of video, and you'd like to see me make more videos about Hytale, including potential mods that could be in the game, make sure you leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. My next mod idea is to add a zoo/animal breeding type mod. In this mod, you'd be able to build like your own zoo. So in this, you could build enclosures that meet specific animal needs. So say flamingos need to have a body of water in their habitat and need to have Zone 2 style blocks in their habitat, whereas maybe the Arctic wolves need to have Zone 3 style blocks in their habitat. Maybe they need a couple trees or some brush. NPCs can actually visit your zoo, and different NPCs prefer to see different creatures. So, say Quebecs come and visit your zoo, they'll want to see maybe more woodland style mobs, or maybe mobs that they're not familiar with seeing in their zone. This mod would also incorporate breeding mechanics. So you could selectively breed different mobs to hopefully get specialized fur colors or different animal colors, or maybe even crossbreeding or special variants of different mobs. And potentially with this mob, through the breeding process and through interacting with different mobs, you increase your experience with that mob, and you'd unlock additional capabilities with each one. So maybe you learn what environment it likes better, or you learn how to make a food that's better for that animal, or you unlock certain abilities to be able to do different things with those animals, like have those different fur colors, or they're more resilient to certain weather conditions. My next mod idea is somewhat similar to the zoo mod. It even could be an expansion to that mod, but it is a classic dinosaur mod. Now I know dinosaurs are going to be in Hytale, we've seen them in the Zone 4 caves, but I'm thinking something similar to like Jurassic Craft or Fossils and Archaeology mod for Minecraft. In those mods, you find fossils or amber, and you take those items, put them into research containers, and it basically gives you research for different dinosaurs. We've already seen fossils in-game from the clip we saw of the glider. You could take these fossils, break them down, find DNA samples of different dinosaurs, research those, and actually be able to grow your own dinosaurs. These dinosaurs would have similar enclosure mechanics and breeding mechanics to the zoo mod I just mentioned. Since we've seen dinosaurs also in Zone 4, maybe those dinosaurs could be captured, and they have very specific color variants that only the ones that you capture live have. So if you wanted to get special colors, you'd have to go to the Zone 4 caves and go through the process of capturing those. My next mod idea is a Tamable Creatures mod. Simon's already touched on how They're going to add several different tameable creatures, but they don't have that fleshed out just yet. In this mod, it adds the ability to tame lots of the Hytale creatures to have them at your base. These tamed creatures would serve different functions, so you maybe would have some that are really good at harvesting wood, some may be good at farming, you could use some for combat, some traversal, even some that are just generic pets. But each of these tamed creatures would be able to help you at your base or in the game in some shape, form, or fashion. These creatures can level their attributes with experience, so say the more a creature farms, the better it becomes at farming, that sort of thing. And in order to tame these creatures, it may require several different methods based on the creature's temperament. If you've ever played Ark, you're kind of familiar with this idea, but passive creatures that aren't aggressive to the player can be tamed passively, so you just would feed them every so often. But aggressive creatures may need to be knocked out, and then you can feed them while they're knocked out. Or maybe Hytale's version, you have to place meat out in the open and lure in a hostile mob. This mod could also benefit from similar breeding mechanics to the zoo mod. When you tame up a few different saber-toothed tigers, maybe a couple of them have a better attack rating than others. If you selectively breed those two, then their offspring will have better attack stats. The next mod idea I have is a Recruitable NPCs mod. In this mod, as the name obviously points out, you would be able to recruit and befriend different NPCs to your base. The main idea for this mod really stems from how Terraria's NPC system works. So, you would encounter different recruitable NPCs through meeting certain criteria. So say you defeat a certain boss, that enables you the ability to recruit a certain NPC, like a Quebec, or maybe there's a defecting goblin that you can recruit, or a defecting chork, or something like that. And when you do recruit these NPCs, they can actually do tasks for you at your base. So maybe they can farm, maybe they can defend your base, maybe they can fish for you. And building friendships and a relationship with these NPCs can get you special items or unlock different things. In order to recruit these NPCs, similar to in Terraria, you'd have to actually build housing for those NPCs. And that housing has to be specific to what that NPC would like to have. So say you have a Quebec, they're going to want a more woodland style home, versus maybe you can recruit an Outlander, and that Outlander is going to want a much more rustic Zone 3 style home. Also, different NPCs may not want to be next to each other. So say you've recruited the Quebec NPC, he's not going to want to be next to the Chork NPC, obviously. These NPCs you also would be able to take out with you on adventures, so you could bring them along as your companions, similar to Skyrim's companion system. The final mod idea I have for this episode is a deeper magic/potion system. For potions, this would require a detailed multi-step potion crafting, requiring special ingredients. So say you have to harvest magical crops that you can grow, or you have to kill certain mobs that have special items that drop, and all of those items are used in a pot for a spell where you have to make sure you get the right ingredient order, you have to have the right environment, and through experimenting with different items all into the pot, you can make different potions. For the detailed spell system, you can unlock and learn spells from different wizarding schools / wizarding towers found throughout the world. We've seen a couple images of these already in game, but the schools will be of different elements, matching the elements of zones. So you've got earth, water, air, fire, lightning, and void. So you go into these different towers, you defeat the mobs in there, and you can find different spells that are for that element. You can then upgrade these spells through experience or through the use of, say, rituals. Maybe you can find these rituals in these towers. And then you can even learn to combine spell and potion effects for cool combos. So say you've got a lightning spell and a potion that does area of effect damage, or a potion that boosts your power. You can combine these spells that increases the damage of the lightning. Or even potions that can give you special effects on your weapons. Those are all the mod ideas I have for this episode. But let me know about your mod ideas, and I might just add them in a follow-up video covering mods suggested by the community. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.